Mazda, the car maker, has some unpatched bugs in its Mazda Connect systems that could allow attackers to install persistent malware. Exploiting this vulnerability only requires a few minutes of physical access, which means that these cars are at increased risks in situations like valet parking or when you take your car into the shop. Anthropic AI models will now be used to process secret government data, thanks to a partnership between Palantir and AWS. How does this partnership challenge Anthropic's claimed commitment to AI ethics and safety? And speaking of AI, Google has quietly supercharged Chrome's enhanced protection with AI, promising users real-time defense against harmful sites and downloads, alongside smarter tab organization, which we all need very badly. And finally, DLink is facing backlash as over 60,000 of their older network-attached storage devices are now vulnerable to a critical command injection flaw that will not be receiving a security fix. You're listening to the Daily Decrypt. All right, first it was Kia and Hyundai, and now it's Mazda. Attackers are exploiting multiple unpatched vulnerabilities within the Mazda Connect infotainment system, impacting car models like the Mazda 3 from 2014 to 2021. These vulnerabilities enable the execution of arbitrary code with root permissions, threatening the vehicle's operation and safety. Researchers from Trend Micro's Zero-Day Initiative identified these flaws in the Connectivity Master Unit, originally developed by Johnson Controls and used in Mazda vehicles, where modding community activities have relied on software vulnerabilities to enhance functionality. Exploiting these vulnerabilities requires physical access to the system, which can be obtained easily during, let's say, valet services or when your car is in the shop. Once accessed, attackers could compromise the infotainment system, resulting in unauthorized information disclosure, manipulation of databases, arbitrary code injection, and potentially control over vehicle subsystems, including the CAN buses connected to critical ECUs for functions like engine and braking. And I feel like the likelihood of an average everyday user like myself being hit with this attack is pretty low. And I mean, if you're thinking about valet services and you're thinking about taking your car to the mechanic, those both make the vehicle very vulnerable already, especially if your vehicle has some sort of USB or other input into its system. With or without these vulnerabilities, they can definitely install malware onto most systems. Like if you have physical access to a system, I wouldn't consider that as much of a vulnerability. But knowing that this type of vulnerability is out there will help keep you safe from it. Anthropic, which is an AI company that makes Claude AI, has just announced a partnership with Palantir and Amazon Web Services aiming to integrate its Claude AI models into the US intelligence and defense sector. Claude, which is similar to ChatGPT's AI language models, will function within Palantir's Impact Level 6 environment on AWS to manage and analyze classified national security data. And despite this technological advancement, critics are highlighting a potential contradiction with Anthropic's commitment to AI safety. In fact, Timnit Gebru, a former co-head of AI ethics at Google, expressed skepticism about Anthropic's alignment with its ethical AI stance, particularly given the firm's new defense contracts amidst a broader industry trend, with companies like Meta and OpenAI also pursuing defense alliances. So within this partnership between Claude AI and the Department of Defense, Claude AI will be tasked with optimizing operations through rapid data analysis, pattern recognition, and document management, which are all AI's strengths. Yet, they say that decision-making will remain human-authorized. And so this is like a little baby starter seed for what Hollywood movies have portrayed, right? Militaristic AI models. We're not entirely sure of the specifics of this deal, but given its deep integration into the Department of Defense, it would be safe to assume that it is enhancing knowledge of these automated systems that will still rely on human interaction for now. But it's a fine line between, meeting your bottom line as an artificial intelligence company and crossing an ethical boundary. Only time will tell which side of the line this falls on. Speaking of AI, Google has quietly updated its security feature in Chrome known as Enhanced Protection to leverage AI technology, which will transform how Chrome's safe browsing now operates by offering real-time AI-powered defense against harmful sites, downloads, and extensions. The AI enhancement aims to preemptively warn users about threats unrecognized by human-curated databases. But again, with anything defense-related and AI-related, it's going to raise some concerns around ethics and, what's going to happen with all that data. Like, what is it looking at in our browser? Is it everything? Or is it just when we click a link? Or, I guess that's pretty much everything. And so I, as a security defense person, hopeful that Google is doing this correct and not just rushing into this, because there are a lot of privacy concerns that I have. But I'm willing to throw all of those concerns away for Google's additional new feature where it uses AI to group Chrome tabs and automatically organize them, reviewing inactive tabs and helping to clean up that little bar at the top of my browser. Because, working in tech, I'm constantly pivoting and looking right, left, all over the place. I quickly end up with a ton of tabs. So I have my doubts that machine learning can keep them organized and not lose them or whatever. But, I'm hopeful that all the data that Google has on me will be put to use, keeping my tabs organized. And finally, DLink's network-attached storage devices, which are used widely by small businesses, are susceptible to a critical command injection vulnerability, which has a severe score of 9.2 on the CVSS risk scale. This flaw would allow unauthenticated attackers to execute arbitrary shell commands by sending specially crafted HTTP GET requests thanks to insufficient input sanitization. But despite the public availability of this exploit, DLink has confirmed that these devices, having reached end of life, will not receive a patch, offering the users nothing more than a little tiny piece of advice to, hey, retire or isolate these devices from the public internet. Maybe just go upgrade to a new DLink device that will for sure continue to receive updates for years to come, right? Surely. But for a list of devices that have reached their end of life and are vulnerable to this exploit, check out the link in the show notes below. And before we let you go, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We're nearing that 1,000 subscriber mark, which is a big deal. Thank you for all your support.
This has been the Daily Decrypt. If you found your key to unlocking the digital domain, show your support with a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It truly helps us stand at the frontier of cyber news. Don't forget to connect on Instagram or catch our episodes on YouTube. Until next time, keep your data safe and your curiosity alive.